Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy Marvin, and we are finally back with some more content for UniVersus. I know it's been a very long time. I've been busy. I'm still playing the game nonstop. I play twice a week, sometimes more, team testing and all that. Still very passionate about the game, just haven't had much time in my life recently. But I really want to come back to content in a pretty big way. That's why you see the whole rebrand from Undefeated Locals to the Cabal. This started in Vegas. If you know, you know. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining that because that is not what this video is about today. This video is finally a deck profile for probably my favorite deck I've played in a very long time, honestly, since like maybe like my All Might 3 days. Izuku Midoriya Deku. This guy just came out in the Challenger decks released, the Final Battle MHA Challengers. Probably the last My Hero Academia product that we will see. So not only is it near and dear to me as like an IP, My Hero Academia being one of my favorite mangas and animes that I've ever watched. But this style of gameplay is also just something that I've always been interested in, all the way back to like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Archetype things that like with keyword matters ideas are very, very important to me. I really like that style of gameplay. And this guy does it the best. Right off the bat with his static, he says, your deck may include Vestige foundations regardless of symbol restrictions. So this guy gets to play every single foundation with the Vestige keyword, which is very important in this deck. The entire basis of our deck relies around a card that we'll go over later, evoking the wielders that needs 3 or more different types of messages, as well as his other ability. We have Enhanced Tenacious. This attack gets +2 or -2 speed. If you have 6 or more messages, this attack gets +3 or -3 speed instead. So this guy is kind of ramping up the Vestiges. Once he gets to 6 on stage, he's very much like Rodon. That type of defense, -3 speed on everything, +3 speed on everything. And we have our own built-in damage source coming from a card outside of this same Challenger deck. I think these Challenger decks have been really, really good, really strong recently. Street Fighter, My Hero Academia, both really strong products and really strong characters out of them. And I'm excited to showcase this one. I've been playing this guy for a couple weeks now. I've topped some LCs. I plan on topping another LC this weekend with this deck. It's just super fun. It's honestly really fun to play and to play against, which is important for me right now in the game since I'm not too super focused on attending regionals or anything, as I've already obtained my Worlds invite. I will obviously be obtaining, going to Worlds and trying to have a strong performance there. But at the local level, I'm just trying to have fun. And this deck kind of gives you the best of both worlds. I do think it's like a pretty strong meta threat, as well as just being very, very fun to play. His other response is quite insane as well. This guy is just desperately the character card. Response commit, after you block an attack with a foundation, build that foundation and draw 1 card. So really, really strong. He's actually like a 7-hand size character if you think about it, especially since his entire plan is really revolving around playing this really strong defensive game until he has 15, 20 foundations, some of them being evoking the wielders, and then we can just kind of create a couple of lethal attacks in the same kill stream. So really, really strong, very like good mid-range deck, which I haven't seen in UniVersus in a little while. So we're going to put him off to the side. We're going to move that forward. Got that fancy little alt art. You're going to see a bunch of alt arts in this deck, but we're going to get right into it. I don't want this video to be too terribly long. For Queen of the Monsters, this is not going to be my new barrier shield. I'm not going to talk about this card for 5 minutes. Everybody knows what Queen of the Monsters is doing. 4 high 7, blitz, spend 1 momentum, add 1 card, add 1 foundation from your discard pile to your card pool and draw 1 card, and then blitz, build 1 card from your card pool face up or face down. Most decks are going to be using that second ability on this card to build an attack and like have ways to pick it back up, or they're just doing it to clear their card pool like Pony, and they're just planning on kind of killing you that turn. This deck is honestly functioning at a pretty high rate of getting access to the top blitz there, of specifically adding a foundation to the card pool, drawing a card. Usually that foundation is a Vestige or evoking the wielders specifically. So it's actually somewhat differently using Queen of the Monsters, but we also still have, you know, Sinciso and things like that to pick up the attacks if we do end up building them down. So both the decks are really good. But not going to stick too much on Queen of the Monsters. Next up, 4X Sinciso. This card is absolutely insane. Has been since its release, honestly. In the early game, we're using this to reset our good defensive foundations, like things like Divine Defender, Aaron Sidestep, stuff like that. Later in the game, we're using it in conjunction with Queen of the Monsters to either pick up an attack or with evoking the wielders to commit evoking on the first move that we've played, give our move +2/+4, and then go send Sisso on a 5, pick up Evoking, play Evoking. On our third move, we get that same Evoking again. So really, really strong. Just in every stage of the game, this attack is very good. This is like one of the best poke attacks in the deck because it's always going to reset something. Even if that something is just like Fearsome Transformation, it's going to hit something. Going to get your defense to last a little bit longer. And then in the late game, it's like a really good kill card. 4X Hunter's Ally, again, needs no explanation. Sorry, my lighting is awful. I'll hold it like this so you guys can kind of see the alt arts and stuff. Hunter's Ally in this deck is honestly just turbo mode because most of the vestiges also have the ally keyword. So this guy is just always building a vestige. Again, primarily, we're looking to build exactly Evoking the Wielders off of this guy. This deck is very good by turn 4, turn 5, having all 4 copies of Evoking the Wielders out to really just put a bunch of stats on some attacks. 4X Electric Moss. I will never not play this card. Nobody can stop me. This card is absolutely insane. Genuinely the best poke attack in the deck. Maybe the best poke attack in the game, to be honest with you. It is a very good card. Discard 1, draw 2, so you're always doing +1 hand size with this guy. It's a move that can hit your opponent. A lot of their moves, especially once we set up early Evoking the Wielders, you can just make this thing like a 9 high for 10, 9 high 11. It's super, super easy, super strong ability on this card. And then again, it's just the best poke attack. And then you're also forcing your opponent to go into deadlock. They really cannot kill you without going to past 10 foundations. So on your kill stream, this becomes discard 1, draw 3, and just find your moves, which is also really strong. The deck does not have much offensive draw power, so having Electric Moss is really good. The MVP attack of the deck is definitely Invisible Infiltration. This guy is just resetting your Evoking the Wielders. That is exactly this card's job. In the early game, you might go to Sling 1 and again just reset a defensive piece, but you're really looking to reset multiple or the same Evoking the Wielders across a turn 3, 4, sometimes 5 times with this paired with Sisso. So yeah, that's the main strategy with this guy, is just reset your Evoking the Wielders. And then we have a little cheeky 2X Focus Prism Beam. This slot, it took me a while to figure out what card I wanted in this slot. It started as Walk the Dog. I thought about Frenzied Dive. Frenzied Dive is like a similar effect. But I really wanted to be able to hit something for 2 turns, right? I didn't want them to just be able to pass my turn and have them re-stand the thing that I want gone. So this is like really good into like things like Cape, even things like Bachelor Arrives, because this deck gets into a lot of Bachelor Arrives wars. All of these permanent pieces that your opponent can just continue to reuse, recycle, they either have to use it immediately in an attempt to stop this thing specifically, like Cape of No Return, or they just do not get it for 2 turns. I never thought about this card because I'm sure you're asking yourself, but what do you mean, Marvin? Deku's only giving speed. Yes, that's true, but you're only going to play this once you have Evoking the Wielders in your stage and active with the 3 different vestige keywords, because then this is just going to get +2/+4 and its responses online. It's also an insane deadlock threat paired with Third Wielder. Once your opponent is in deadlock and you have several Third Wielders, I have genuinely gotten this thing to be a 15 high for 60 damage. Card's absolutely crazy. You'll see a couple more on our sideboard just because I really wanted some board control pieces in the deck. That was like the one thing that I thought it was missing in my initial testing of it. So yeah, that's the attack lineup. 22 attacks out of 70 cards in the deck. Pretty hefty deck size just because of how long you're really trying to play the game. But really solid attacks, really straightforward. It's all about consistency here. And yeah, that's the attacks. And now let me get into the assets and actions here. We're just going to kind of stack up the attacks next to Deku here. So we have some room, but you've seen them. I will also include the link to the deck profile in the description below. Starting off with the assets, we have 4X Team Hero. Absolutely broken card. This is not an asset. This is a foundation, and it's the best foundation in the deck whenever it's played, at whatever time you need it. Again, often, or if your opponent is letting you play your game plan, if your opponent's not really trying to interact with you, if you don't have to interact with your opponent, 9 times out of 10, this is going to build Evoking the Wielders. But it can also build things like Divine Defender, Air and Sidestep, another Vestige if we just need another Vestige for Deku. A lot of times we'll go from 5 to 6 with this guy just to get the -3 speed, because that really is the game plan. You definitely do want to hit that -3 speed. The character itself is like really good, and -2 speed is strong in the early game, but you really are intending to have 6 Vestiges. And because of how we've constructed our deck, it's easier than you might think. It's definitely easier than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, for Team Hero, nothing much needs to be said. 1X Military Airship. I did not initially have this card in my deck. Obviously, it's a very strong card, but I didn't really think it was necessary. But it's honestly quite insane. Defensively, we can use it to pick up things like Protector of Life, hit our blocks. We have things like creative counters, so we can like block with Fourth Wielder, use its effect, keep it in pool. Military Airship, Fourth Wielder back to our hand, block with it again, use its effect, and then creative counter it down because it has a keyword. A lot of cool things there, and then namely on offense, you just get to have 6, 7 copies of Invisible Infiltration in return, paired with Queen of the Monsters, Syntheso, and this. So, really strong card. I never should have not had it in the deck, to be honest. Everybody knows about Military Airship. 3X Protector of Life. This is just a really strong card right now. I think it's like one of the best cards in the game. This card paired with Queen of the Monsters is the entire reason why I've locked myself to like the good and error symbol combinations, because I really just want to be playing these cards. Protector of Life really strong, stopping a lot of stuff in the game. Obviously, it's an Omni block, which is good enough. It stops your throws. And the breaker is pretty impactful. Creating a power token is honestly like insane, because we're at 3X copies and have several things that can reset it and like get it back into our hand. You can get like 3-4 power tokens across a defensive turn, and then that's just +8 damage in your stage, which is really strong. And then rounding out the non-attacks, non-foundations is the GOAT himself, Mondo Gecko. This guy's just insane. This guy turns Deku from +3 speed to +5 speed, -3 speed to -5 speed. Absolute insane card. Paired with Hunter's Ally, he just never goes away unless your opponent finds a way to remove him. Yeah, definitely one of the MVPs of the deck. I can't find room to include a second one. In so many cards, I would like to have a second one for consistency, but the deck actually had a huge issue with mid blocks. I'm already running 33, and that's too many for me, to be honest. It's 20 highs, 33 mids, 17 lows, so it's really hard to fit mids, which will come up later in this video for sure with another card that we have excluded from the list. But yeah, that is all the non-attacks, non-foundations. We'll stack those there. Now let's get into the foundations. Right off the bat is the all-star here. We have Evoking the Wielders, an absolutely insane card. Enhanced Commit. If you have 3 or more differently named Vestiges in your staging area, this attack gets +2 speed and +4 damage. And it doesn't flip itself. It just commits itself. Absolutely insane card. The amount that Mike, one of my teammates, actually worded this the best. This is massive in Deku, inside Deku. This is Massive Mutant Machine on a 2 difficulty foundation that has a million ways to build and reset itself. Absolutely insane card. Once you have 2, 3 of these on the stage in your staging area, the game is just over if you get another turn. You will find the cards. It only takes like 3 or 4 attacks looping these things. Send 4 attacks that are all freaking 12 damage. It's absolutely insane. My personal favorite card in Standard right now is Evoking the Wielders. Deku is like good, don't get me wrong. I enjoy Deku as a character a lot. Obviously, I'm playing the deck. But I'm realistically playing that deck just because he is the best vessel for this Evoking the Wielder strategy, which is what I want to be doing in the game right now. I do want to be playing this card. Very sick card, very good card. I think it is actually genuinely very strong. I completely underrated it when it was first revealed, so that one's on me. UVS Games really cooked with this effect. It makes the game fun because it creates this like little vestige mini game, and then by completing that mini game, you have a very strong card at your disposal. Next up, we're going to get into some of the vestiges here. A lot of the vestiges are just going to happen right off the bat. I'm doing this in deck list order for you guys, but most of the vestiges will happen immediately. I'm holding up the cards because of my lighting. We have Vestige Slingshot, 1 diff, +2 high block. This guy is basically Specialist to Sound on a 1 diff. If your opponent gives their attack a speed bonus, you can respond commit to give their next attack -3 speed, And then same thing with if they give your attack a speed negate, you can respond commit for +3 speed to your next. Very strong cards for a 1-diff. One of the best cards in these challenger decks, and I think this card should be seeing a ton of play, even outside of a Vestige lineup. I think this card is just very strong. +2 high block on a 1-diff is already, honestly, a pretty high rate for the card. And then, again, it's just +3 or -3 speed, and it doesn't flip itself, so it's reusable. Absolutely insane defensive card. And then can also just kind of shore up your offense by giving your next move +3. This is going to be like the most controversial card in the deck because of the card that it doesn't exist. This guy is creative counter, 1-diff, +2 low block, and then it just says response flip after you block with a foundation with a keyword, build it. So it's basically Desperate Plea for this deck. Obviously, Desperate Plea can build anything, including attack cards. This can only hit your Vestiges. But over 50% of your foundation base is vested. It has the Vestige keyword. So it hits a lot of things in your deck. And then you will not find Desperate Plea in this list. Again, from the conversation earlier, there is just way too many mids. If you find a way to fit Desperate Plea in here and still have 20 highs, 17 lows, and only 70 cards in your deck, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll add it. Maybe you figured out the sauce. But I could not figure it out. I could not come to a decision point. So I removed Desperate Plea for this guy just to have the 17 low blocks in the deck. That paired with Protector of Life and the Foundation that's coming up next, another Omni block. Pretty good block zone ratio in the deck. But yeah, could not fit Desperate Plea. But we do have Creative Counter, and Creative Counter is really sick. Builds all your Vestiges, and we have 1 million of those. Speaking of Vestiges, we have 4 Force Wielder. One of 2 cards in the deck that are being off-symboled because of that static. We are an air deck. We are air Deku, but we can play any of the Vestiges that we want, so we get to play this guy. Then this is just an Omni block. Response, commit 1 foundation. Before you make a check to block this attack, make this attack a mid, so it functions as an Omni block. And then it hits, flip, this attack gets -2 speed. So really, really strong 1-diff. This does not really need an introduction. Everybody knows how strong this card is. And it has the Vestige keyword, which makes it even more crazy in our deck. And then we have third wielder Fajin. At first, I was pretty skeptical of this card in the deck. It wasn't really doing anything, but honestly, that was me playing the game poorly and not really understanding what this card could do in the deck once you're at 6 Vestiges. This guy's response commit. After your attack receives a speed bonus of 3 or greater, give this attack +3 damage. And then in the commit is a cost, and it has a second response. After you have committed this card to pay the cost of an ability, add it to your momentum. So this is what I was talking about with Focused Prism Beam. Once you're at 6 foundations, and then you have that access to Deadlock Powerful 5, if you have 3 of these guys in your stage, you go Deku +3 speed, respond +9 damage, get 3 momentum, Powerful 5 for 15 damage. Absolutely insane. Once you're at 6 foundations, this card becomes the best card in your deck, to be honest, because it's not only a damage bonus that isn't evoking the wielders, but it empowers things like Queen of the Monsters, Momentum Spin, EX2 on Sensiso, Powerful 5 on Focused Prism Beam. It empowers so much in the deck by getting that momentum. It becomes a really, really strong, enabler for your end game. Next up, a card that, once again, I'm not going to have too many words about, Aaron Sidestep. If you're not running Aaron Sidestep in your air decks, you're just kind of trolling. Enhanced Slip, -2 speed. If it's completely blocked, draw a card. This card is absolutely insane. This is like the secondary thing that I'm picking up or resetting with Sensiso and Invisible Infiltration if it's not evoking the wielders. The second card that we're playing off symbol because it's a Vestige, Give It Into Rage. This card's sneaky good. Enhanced Flip, each player discards 1 card and draws 1 card. If you discarded a card with the highest difficulty this way, your attack gets +4 damage. Otherwise, it gets +2 damage. So many times this has been the reason I won a game by just giving it that extra 2 or 4 damage if I discard like a 5-diff that I know I can't play, but I need the 4 damage to kill them on this attack, or it's like a risky move to play, so I'd rather just ensure it with this move. So yeah, really, really strong card, honestly. It's only a 3x. We just needed more Vestiges, and I liked the low block on it because, again, that's where the deck struggles. 3x Bachelor arrives. Hopefully, I'm going to release this video today, Monday. Hopefully, come tomorrow, Tuesday, this card will no longer be in the deck because it will have been banned in Standard. Card's absolutely insane, and I hate that I have to play it. I know, haha, you couldn't fit the 4th. It's in the sideboard. The deck has too many mids, and Bachelor arrives is good, but it is still a mid. 3 8th Wielder. This is another slot that's been pretty controversial for me and like changing quite a lot. It started as Defend the Innocent, but one of my teammates convinced me to run 8th Wielder, and then it's honestly a really strong card. You can so easily get the 6 different vestiges in your stage to then make this enhance remove draw 3. So on your kill turns, you really just need draw power. That's like the one thing the deck kind of lacks is like consistent draw capability. So it's like a really, really good kill turn enabler. But even defensively, like enhance, commit, remove, draw 2 is like really good. It removes itself, so it sucks. Like you really want it to exist in your stage for Deku and evoking the wielders. You don't really get to use this until you're in like the really late games. But the draw has come up and has like definitely been the reason that I've won some of these games. Getting to the last foundations here, we have 3 Fearsome Transformations. This is just a 1-diff flip draw card. Very, very good. You get to reset it with Invisible Installation and Syntheso. You get to constantly draw 1. The deck gets a momentum pretty easily. 2x Divine Defender. I like this card a lot. Really strong with Protector of Life, things like that. Force Wielder that you can just leave in your card pool and then grab back later as another Omni Block. It's only a 2x because we have things like Team Hero and stuff, so you really need to see like one of this in a game, to be honest, usually. Usually 1 is enough. And then we have another cheeky 1x 6 Wielder, Smokescreen. This card's honestly really good. Enhance, add 1 card from your hand to your card pool. This attack gets -4 speed. With all the draw power in the deck that we now have, especially paired with Deku and things like 8th Wielder, Fearsome, you can get up to like 9-10 cards in your hand defensively. So now everything just gets -7 speed, which is really, really strong. Really strong effect on the card. I would never want to see like more than 1 or 2 of it in a deck list, just because having 1 of it in your stage is all you're ever going to be able to facilitate using. But really, really strong, powerful piece there. And yeah, that's the whole deck list. That's the foundation-based 70-card deck. Like I said, I'll include the link to the UVS Ultra deck list in the comments, but I really wanted to get this out to you guys and show you just a fun deck. Like, again, like really strong. Don't get me wrong. I think you can like go to an LC and win an event. And even I myself, if I was going to Dallas, this is certainly what I would be playing without a doubt in my mind, just because of evoking the wielders. I've been saying that I'm not playing Izuku Midoriya. I'm actually playing evoking the wielders. This is my character card. And this is my favorite character card that they've ever released in the game. Yeah, really strong deck. I hope you guys try it out. I know some of you out there have been playing Deku as well. I've seen some of your lists. I'm always looking at UVS Ultra to see any insight to other people's decks, the tech pieces that I may have missed. And yeah, I guess I'll show you guys my sideboard real fast too, honestly. I still have a little bit of time. So I will show you the sideboard. I've already kind of told you things that I've thought about. Like, obviously, desperately, like, could and likely should be in the deck. It's just, there's just too many mids. Obviously, a very strong card. So, a funny, little stat about this deck is that Deku has all air, good, and life, and we do not have a single all or life card in our deck, like a tune card. Things that I would like to add, obviously, desperately, if we ever fixed the mid situation. Things like Battle Holds the Answer would be really strong in the deck with how often you're going into like a 5 or 6 attack string. Loot Box is obviously like a pretty good answer when you're running Invisible Infiltration. So if you wanted to go less Vestiges and cut like Give It Into Rage, I could see a line where you do want to play Loot Box. But I really wanted strong Vestiges. I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 19... 22, 23 Vestiges in the deck. 23 out of 39 foundations are Vestiges, just because of how often you really want to hit 6 with Deku. When it was first revealed, I'm sure you saw me in Discord talk a whole bunch of shit about this deck and how it would be impossible to hit 6 Vestiges. That is just not the case outside of exactly Reiner at 3, who also just happens to be your only poor matchup. Yeah, getting into the side, 2 more focused prism beams just so we can hit some staging areas where you really just want to be able to hit what people are doing there. We have 2 Genkai's Guidance. This card's really strong still. Obviously, it doesn't really need an introduction or any type of thing like that. Very, very strong card. It's going to stop things. There's still strategies like Falling Titans-esque cards going around that I just don't want to deal with. The deck doesn't really have another answer into. Force Protector of Life. I really like the idea of post side having 8 Omni blocks in the deck. 2 Substitute Member. There is some strategies, Rodan namely, where like early game your like their speed is better than your speed, so it's really hard to block these decks in the early game. So you really want something to be able to like set it to 3 and then use Deku for another -2, set it to 1. Force Batchers, because they're trying to fit it in the main, you're gonna side it pretty often. Wide Awake, just in case they try to seal Deku. It's like the only thing that's been able to consistently kind of attempt to stop this deck for me is Grinder 3 and then somebody sealing my character card. So having Wide Awake as a strategy. And then we have 1x Prowess of the Survey Court. This is like the thing that I'm not entirely sure is going to stay in the deck. I think I'd almost rather this card be like Caped Crusaders or something. Or Cardboard Crusaders is what it's called. Yeah, this guy. This card, this should probably be this slot. You should probably run Cardboard Crusaders instead of this. This is like theoretically good into like the same control-ish matchup that you're trying to play. So like things like Masa, things like Rodan. The issue with that though is that these are the same decks where you're going to end up in like what I am calling Bachelor Wars. So like it's really hard to activate that. You end up needing all 4 of your Bachelors to even be able to loop this, and then by then you've committed like a good section of your stage, so you may not even be able to like resolve that many Invisible Infiltration. But this is like in Deadlock, this is an infinite loop with Invisible Infiltration. It says enhance, remove a foundation. After this attack resolves, you get that foundation back. This says response commit. After your attack resolves, add it to your hand. Deadlock response. So as long as they don't have an answer to this, if they go to 11, you're just going to loop them with Invisible Interposition until they die. Again, it's another mid, so this absolutely cannot be in the main board. This is a completely blank card in 80% of situations, and there is no way I can run a blank mid foundation in this deck. But if they somehow miss on batches and stuff, I've cited it once. It's come up a single time, but it is a 1x that you can just get with Team Hero, which is nice. So yeah, but it's like probably the thing that I would be closest to changing. And yeah, so that's the deck. Overall, your matchups are like really, really strong. I think most of the time these decks like don't really have a good game plan into like things like Masa, things like Rodan, I feel like have struggled pretty often. Obviously, Rodan very good. I'm not saying he isn't, but they've struggled a lot on offensive turns to like really do anything, especially early pressure. Where if you build evoking, like if you have 3 vested and have evoking on turn 2, turn 3, you're giving really crazy early pressure, which I think is really, really good inside of the game right now. Your single bad matchup is Reiner 3. I think unless your opponent has like a stroke at the table, I think it's going to be like a really big uphill battle. I've played against it a few times and I've taken it to a draw. I've never won the matchup, I don't think, to be honest with you. I've taken it to a draw, but yeah, really bad matchup. But as long as you dodge those, I think it's totally fine. And in this game, so many people just played their favorite deck that you could totally take this to Dallas and just say, I'll only fight 2 Reiner, I'll go X2, and I'll still hit top cut. So, still a very reasonable choice, because I think everything else is like 50-50 or favored, which feels really good. I have like probably close to like a 90% win rate with this deck right now in like 5 to 10 events that I've played with it. Yeah, hope you guys liked the video. Super glad to be back doing content like this. I'm going to try to get some competitive content out there for you guys. I'll have another special video coming out right before Dallas, so look forward to that. I'm going to be recording that here soon, working on slides for it because it's a bigger deal than a deck profile. But I really wanted to show you the deck and all of the fancy, shiny cards that go with it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you next time. Peace.